I got a question for you guys. So real quick, if you guys had done any bed lining on boxes, do you think I can just get away with bed lining it and not having to resin it? You know, although
we back, man, and as you can see,
we are going to the tailgate of the Silverado, and man, we got some wood in here. Got quite a bit of pieces. Let me get this glue out of here. Gorilla Glue, man. Someone said on the comment last night the Type-On is good, and I have used the Type-On. This is going to be my second time using this Gorilla Glue, and I actually really like how that really bonds.
Don't forget to subscribe, man. Turn that notification bell on so you guys can get notified every time we drop these videos of this build, man, because we are about to get down and build some serious stuff.
So I'm actually pulling out the old table saw right now. This thing is, I probably bought this thing in like 2007, and she still works like a champ, man. This is like the best purchase I ever made doing my car audio stuff, and it's still alive.
But for today's video, what we're actually gonna do is I'm taking the table saw out because I am about to cut the bottom piece out, and we're gonna actually draw the blueprint for the box on the bottom piece and sit here and calculate numbers and make sure that everything is good, ready to rock and roll. So when we start building, we know exactly where wood's gonna sit, make sure all the airspace is good and everything. So once we start building, we're just going forward. There's no looking
connected. I got the table saw ready to rock and roll. It's a little bit rigged up, man, but it's gonna do its job, what we need it to do. Man, that sun just came out of nowhere right now, but it feels pretty good today.
Today would have been real nice box building weather, but we're only gonna design this thing.
Okay, so the bottom of our box, remember it was at like 57 or something, so now we're just gonna go ahead and do it the 48 by 27. And as you can see, like right here, I literally just got done marking off the 27, but it's a little off right here. But if you know tape measures, man, they have a little bit of play right here. So once I really put my finger on the end of the tape measure and, you know, scoot it up, it's on 27 exactly. So but it's right there. So basically what I'm gonna actually do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and slice this piece of wood on my table saw so it's at this exact measurement that we need, and then we can start designing on this thing. Alright, so let's get into this porch real quick. As you can see, we have this box that I still need to get done, but my boy's got his lightning getting painted, so shortly we're going to get back on that. This is going to get the 210 Sundowns, but a nice fiberglass enclosure. Look, I'm going to show you guys my only beef with birch wood. You see, when you cut it, it gives off like little like splinters and stuff like that, which is not a big issue because all we really have to do is just come back here, look, get some sandpaper and just pretty much give it a quick little hand motion and it's done. But that's my only really issue with birch. Other than that, it's pretty good wood, you know. As you can see right here, we have to hand it in just to make sure that we don't have no splinters. So I'm going to show you a couple things real quick, but before anything, man, we have to drink our coffee. Number one thing you have to do, man, is drink your coffee, man, if you're going to build something really loud, because this is going to wake you up. But this is like really sweet. I love really sweet coffee, man. Back to the big dog stuff. So for today, we're gonna use my iPad, of course, 12volt.com, to get out volumes of cubic feet. Our piece of wood. We got our calculator because we're gonna need to calculate some stuff. We got our right angle because we may have to draw some lines. A tape measure. The subwoofer, of course, and this big piece of 3/4 inch strip, because we're going to be using that to draw lines. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to actually do is, I mean, obviously 3/4 inch wood pieces are going to sit on top of this. So with our strip that was extra when we cut out this piece of wood, we're just going to put it like this. Okay, so I actually went and got my clamps, because if we want nice straight lines, we need to put this on here precise and have it sit flush, so all of our lines are nice and flush. So it only takes 2 seconds to do, and it'll actually be beneficial because you'll have real straight lines at the end of the day. So right there, one line is drawn. Now let's go over here. I mean, there's probably other ways to do this stuff, but this is just the way how I always been doing it. It's like my routine, and I just stick to my routines because it's always easier for me. People probably draw it up on a piece of paper and just go ahead and start cutting wood and start putting it together, which is cool and everything, but this is just my system of doing stuff. And I'm going to just stick to doing with what I know works for myself. But right there, we just got to do one more, and I think we should be good. Alright, so our lines are drawn out. So we have a border of where the outer parts of the pieces of wood are going. So now I'm going to actually remeasure the sub, make sure that we're good. So the sub is actually 6 1/4 from the bottom of the top ring to the bottom of the magnet. So as long as the sub can like fit inside here without hitting that piece of wood, we should be good. So what we're gonna do now is from here we're gonna measure at least like 6 1/2. See what I'm saying? 6 1/2. So at least I know that the sub clears it by like 1/4 inch. So basically what I'm doing right now is I am going to go ahead and set my piece of wood on the lines that we just marked, for the reason being is we need to find out exactly how much airspace is in the inner chamber. So as long as we know we have a nice the 6.2 cubes that we need in the inner chamber, then obviously what's in the rear is going to equal up to the 4 cubes that we now is I'm actually putting the piece of wood on here, because this is going to give us exact dimensions, because it would be the 3/4 inch baffle that would go in here. So we can just draw a quick line and see what it does for us. And the thing about like drawing on here with wood, on the wood with a piece of pencil, we can just use a sandpaper and erase the line and then start over it in case we need to actually you know, redo. Okay, so pretty much we got these back pieces already figured out. So now what we need to do is measure 6 1/2 from here up to here and draw our line out, and that'll give us our measurements from how big the inner chamber is going to be. And then those numbers we can actually go ahead and put them in the 12volt.com and figure out how much airspace is in the inner chamber. So once again, bring out your tape measure, 6 1/2 right here, and then on the other side 6 1/2. We already got all of our lines drawn out, and so like, you know, you see like this is where the back baffle would be. So now, since we have all of our measurements, we can actually take the external dimensions of this, and then we can crunch it inside the program, and then we can figure out how much airspace is inside the ported chamber. For those of you who don't know, when you're building a bandpass box, the inner chamber where the subs get loaded at, that's the ported side, and this is the sealed side. And you know, obviously right here in the front portion of the box is going to get the port. And remember, our goal is to get a 30 by 5 square inch port, because that will equal up 150 inches. So the thickness of the wood is 3/4, or 0.75 equals. So right off the bat, the total airspace is 10.63, and that's pretty cool. So we'll write total air space. Okay, look, I don't even know how to spell space. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clear this out, and we're going to measure to see how much what are the measurements of the inner chamber, so then we can figure out how much airspace is in the ported side. So removing the clamps real quick, we're going to put this piece of wood to the side. Okay, so our inner chamber, it is, we're going to say it's 19.5. So let me draw quick. 19.5 deep. And obviously it's going to be 17 high. And now the width of it, let's see, 33.5, man. So let's put those numbers in the program and see what it does. We're trying to stay in the 6 cubes area in this front chamber. So let's do a 33.5, height 17, depth is 19.5, thickness 0.75. Okay, so obviously you see right there it is 5.16, and we're still missing a tad bit. So since we said the clearance of the sub is 6 1/4, we actually did 6.5. So now we need to take down 1/4 inch from each side and see what that does for us. So let me go ahead and redo some lines real quick, and we'll get back to see how much airspace we got now. See, this is why it's always good to blueprint this stuff out, because you never know the changes that are going to come your way. And we actually took a big change again, because so much stuff has to come into play with everything when you're designing a box. So let's actually go to the truck real quick and I'll show you. So don't mind the pieces of wood that are in here. So obviously from wheel well to wheel well it is like 49 inches, and the wood is actually 48 inches. Okay, so we could have went ahead and built the box with the specs that we had going on, but that would require us to build pockets. And I mean, we do have space to build the pockets, but then, you know, why do the pockets? You know what I'm saying? When we can put like batteries or stuff that we need inside there. So the box that we had got some wood cut out for was actually 27, but it actually ended up turning into 30 now, which is like, what's 3 inches, guys? You know what I'm saying? As long as we get our airspace that we need and we don't have to build extra stuff, and we can just build all inside that box, you know, the 3 inches will never hurt. So we ended up having to add 30 inches into the box. And like I just said, that's why it's better to over prepare, crunch your numbers, and make sure you got everything good, so you don't have to, you know, recut wood or anything. Good thing we haven't started cutting any wood, because we already would have ran into a dilemma. But since we're only blueprinting today, we can work out all the bugs, so we have a flawless build. And with working out all the bugs on this piece of wood, so obviously the piece of wood that I actually got on here right now, it is actually the 48 by 30, the extra 3 inches that we need. I had just got this cut because, you know, I would, you know, and the time before this, I would have cut pieces out of this that we needed for our box build.
But since we you know, did the blueprint, we can see where there would be problems, and I just gotta double check everything. If any issues that we run into with anything, we run into them here versus while we're actually building the box. You see what I'm saying? And so now that we pretty much got all the bugs worked out and we got good dimensions now, let me explain to you what's going on. Being 48, 30, 17 height, it still gives us our airspace that we need. Another thing, it makes sure it gives us the space so we can just load subs and put them in, not having to build buckets to get that extra airspace. Because this box could have went over here if we would have went with that box design, and the depth wasn't all there, and this one was requiring us to build buckets. Yes, we could have built the buckets, but the wheel well would have like started right here, and then we only would have had probably like a few inches to work with. Although we could have got our airspace, but why do that extra work when just extending the box 3 inches and we still have plenty of bed left over? It'll still work out. My main concern over all this was making sure that we had 6 cubes in the inner chamber. That's the most important thing. And actually we have 6.1, and that is perfect because after braze, port, subs, etc., we have plenty of airspace, so it has what it needs to get. And so obviously now we have our airspace for sure in the back that we need, so it can give us that nice tight base. So at the end of the day, extending it 3 inches was able to give us clearance for our subs, make sure for a fact that we have our 6 cubes that we actually need, and plenty of airspace for everything, because after, you know, the stuff that we're doing inside there, the heavy bracing and, you know, everything, we still have plenty of airspace so the speakers can do what they're supposed to do, and the box will just slide right in versus having to put stuff together, do this and do all that. You know, just adding those extra 3 inches gave us plenty of advantages. Doing this airspace gives us pretty much like 5 cubes in the back, which is like really perfect, because then now, you know, it guarantees us the 4 cubes that we need, you know, most definitely, and that's what we're looking for. So honestly, this is the best route to go. Like I said, everything always changes once you get your hands on it. You know, that's just the real world of car audio. And I mean, it's gonna be a good one. You know, I'm actually pretty happy with this. What we did, we actually just, you know, went ahead and, you know, tried something new. It worked out for the best. We haven't started cutting no wood, so we didn't waste no wood. We haven't wasted no time. You know, this is what, you know, we took the day to prepare for this. And, you know, now the next step after this is we're going to go ahead and create our cut lists, and then we're going to cut wood, and then we're going to build the shell of it. But on tomorrow's video, we're going to, you know, design the cut lists, and then we'll cut all the pieces of wood, and then Saturday we'll start building, which is the skeleton of the box. The video after that would be the video on doing braces and placement and cutting it out, because like bracing, like to cut out like nice shapes that we actually going to need to cut out, it's going to take quite a bit of time, because back here we got the plexiglass. So figure this is the back of the box, and right here it's going to have the plexiglass window, and I'm going to do a very nice brace, and you're going to see like the corners of the magnets, which is going to look pretty cool with the box lit up and painted and everything. I got a question for you guys. So real quick, if you guys had done any bed lining on boxes, do you think I can just get away with bed lining it and not having to resin it? You know, although I am probably still going to resin it just to, you know, make sure, you know, I can sleep better at night. But I wonder if I can get away with it, or I could just cut a piece of wood up and, you know, throw some bed liner on it and just maybe put it, you know, wet it and see what it does in the next few days. So maybe that'll be a quick little experiment. I'll tell you guys, man, it is so hot out here in Florida right now, and definitely I am glad I'm in this porch and not out there in the sun. Although it's still hot in here, I did have a little small fan going, man, but that does not do nothing for your boy. It is hot. So I'm gonna have to probably make sure I put a fan out here when I start building the box. Saturday we're starting to build the box. Today's Thursday, so Saturday we're gonna start building the box, so you guys can start seeing what's going on, man. So man, we still got plenty to go, and after we build the box and have everything all that set in stone, then we're gonna cut the bed. we're gonna set the box inside there, and then we can start building all the panels inside the bed, and then we're gonna work from outside in. So man, you know, subscribe to the channel, man. Stay tuned, because you know it's about to get real funky, like I say. Drop any comments, hit that like button, man, because I like this type of stuff. I really like this type of stuff. You know, it actually challenges your brain, your skills, and your creativity, man. So I can only imagine what the people that build the bigger boxes go through, man. And we're gonna get there one day, guys. So